Eyup Championship predictions time, baby. We are so up right now. We're going to do so much winning. You may even get tired of winning. Money. There's not loads and loads of fixtures on this weekend. I hate to break it to you. I know we all love this shit. I love this league. Love to be in there. But there's not loads and loads of fixtures on because it's FA Cup. So this weekend's schedule, if anybody interested, Championship today, League One tomorrow, FA Cup Friday. Also, hate to break it to you, no watch along Friday as well. Just quickly, if anybody that's interested, no watch along Friday. We're going to do Charlton Barnsley on Tuesday instead. Okay, Wednesday Sunderland first on a Friday neat. You know, looking at this fixture like a couple of weeks ago, we're like, yes, Wednesday definitely losing that one. Guaranteed no playoffs now, bitches. And especially after the 4-0 away at Burnley, we're like, wow, these guys can't handle the big teams. Even though Wednesday were quite good first half, these guys cannot handle the big games, the big teams, all, you know what I mean? But then Sunderland, in space of 2 games, have just completely made me doubt the mental space that they're in, them players. I said on the live, and I think I've said in the DFL review that I did last, after the Leeds result and the manner that which they lost at Leeds, Sunderland, I just think now the players have just sort of accepted that Autos is almost gone and that they can just cruise to playoffs, regardless of how they're playing, how much effort they put in. They're going to just be finishing about 4th anyway. So they don't look that arsed. And I feel like Hillsborough, I think a lot of time is shit. I'm going to say that right now. Away fans obviously really good. Just going to put that one in as well so people don't say I'm a big biased baby. But when it's a big game, that place can get rocking big time. I don't think Sunderland players are going to want it as much. I want Sunderland to go here and win, and I won't mind Sunderland going up. I don't care, realistically. I want them to win this game, but I don't think they'll be up for it, and I think Wednesday will be, especially on a midweek game. You always got like a bit of something like that. They've obviously both lost the last 2 games. Sunderland lost at Leeds, and then they lost 1-0 at home to Hull. That's shocking. That Sunderland have been unbeaten at home all season, but I know they're quite good away from home in fairness. But to not score, and I don't know. I just think that they looked a bit off. And Wednesday, most of the time, I back them for a goal. Burnley's a different story because they haven't conceded in about 15 years. But I do always fancy him for a goal. I felt they've got a couple of big game players, and I think they'll be up for it big time here. I honestly do. I don't want them to win, obviously. I think that goes without saying. But I think they'll get a point at least. They're not even good at home, though. And Sunderland away, a bit iffy, not big winners. I might go with a draw. I do think there's goals in this because Wednesday's defence is leaky to set least, especially now that Bernard's injured. And Beadle just seems to be on his Melee era recently. I'll go with a draw. I don't think there'll be loads, and I don't think there'll be a ridiculous amount of goals. I don't think it'll be like a 3 apiece, you know what I mean? But I'm tossing to go for a 2 apiece here. I think the first video that I had Wednesday Bristol City, and I called that one 2 apiece for a Desi. I'm going to get us rolling with it. We'll go with Wednesday 2, Sunderland 2 to get a start. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Sunderland win, but I just don't think they're up for it as much as they should be. Blackburn, Norwich. Ismail Ball, baby! Come on, Val. I'll tell you what, any of these, like, dossers that Blackburn have got, anybody that just, like, strolls about pitch, not looking that interested, Ismail will have them strung by the bollocks after about 3 days. I think just because of the authority, what's the word? Authoritative, is that a word? The authority, but like I don't know. The big figurehead that Ismail is, he's massive, he's scary, big on discipline and stuff like that. I do think Blackburn will be shitting their jocks just straight off bat, and I do think they will probably, I honestly back them here, just based on, new manager bounces its own thing in general. But new manager bounce when it's someone as scary as him that comes in as your gaffer and your boss. You don't want to let him down, do you, early doors? And I think they will probably beat Norwich because of it. I quite like Norwich, and I've been iffy with the chances of gaining there a lot at season, but they're always good for a goal. I definitely think they will get one here. But it's whether they can, at the same time, they're obviously not just going to spawn into fitness levels that Ismail's going to want from a Blackburn, are they? And have they really got the amount of depth that he would like, especially in, like, strikers department? Have they got enough forwards that he wants? Probably not. I don't think Norwich win. Norwich's away form, again, very iffy. They've got 2 wins out of the last 5, but before that, they're not like, they're nothing special away from home, Norwich. Blackburn at home go win-loss most of the time, and they did win the last one, so that don't bode well for what I'm about to say. But I do think they will win. Not to 0. But I do think Blackburn will probably win 2-1. Just based on the scaremongering factor of Ismail. Like I said, if you've seen the TikTok that I did where I've talked about Ismail going to Blackburn, I want him to go up now just because of him. Honestly, I love that man with all my soul. Leeds West Brom. God, you must think, like, what's even the point? If you're a West Brom fan here, and West Brom have got a good side, good manager, good squad. But the way that Leeds have won the last 2 games, Sunderland at home, and the way that they won away at Sheff United, especially that second, they were good in that second half. You've got to give it to them. First half, they didn't create a lot. And I thought Sheff United had him battling middle at Park a lot of time. The fact that Vinny Souza lost that game is crazy because I thought he was arguably one of the best players on pitch. But they've just got it in him. It's gone complete other way with Leeds, where notorious bottle jobs in this division, you would now say are the complete opposite way around, and they look like mentality monsters now. Like, when did they last lose in league? I'm going to have a look. Blackburn away in November. They have not lost a game in the league since November. They've got 8 wins and a draw away at Burnley in the last 9 games. They've got a point away at Burnley. They bet Sunderland. They bet Sheff United. They bet Coventry. They bet Norwich. They're beating a lot of good sides. I think they will win again. Like I said before, I think it's a given a lot of time when they're at home that it's just like a how many type thing. With Leeds, it's like effectively like Birmingham in League One. It's like, you know you've won, but how many are you going to score? It's obviously not going to be a Cardiff scoreline. I think they were a freak anyway. For both sides. West Brom are quite tidy, especially going forward. I do quite like them. I always fancy them for a goal as well, similar to Wednesday. But their away form for West Brom is absolutely honking shit. I don't think they've won in 10, 11 games away. They're obviously not going to win here. They're not even going to get a point here. But I do think they'll score, but only one. And that's at a push. I'm giving them a goalie, but that's at a push. And I think Leeds will probably honestly, just put it on a random spinner out between 2 and 4. Where's my coin? Only got a quid. Money! I don't think it'll be 4. So I'll go with either 2 or 3-1. Heads it is 2. Tails, we're going 3-1 Leeds. I actually quite like that scoreline, you know. I do fancy that one. Oxford and Cov. Oh, it's a big test. It's a big old test. Not so much for Coventry because they've been on like flames recently. What they won since Lampard's come in, a lot. Short answer. Their only loss, well, they lost to Ipswich. They got spanned, didn't they, at home to Ipswich. Just shows levels, really. That a side not good enough for Premier League can just absolutely dick one of the best and most informed sides in Championship with a really good squad. Lost to Ipswich, they lost to Leeds, but everything else with Lampard they've won. Every other game they have won. A lot of 2-1s going on. And I wouldn't be surprised with that again here, apart from the fact that Oxford just cannot score. I said I'd start worrying about them if they couldn't get a goal away at West Brom, and they didn't even have a sniff. West Brom slapped them up big time. They're now on 1 goal in 6 games, and it was to Bristol City at home where they got a point. It's not going to be a big scorer because despite the fact that they don't score a lot of goals, as you'd expect from a Gary Rowett side, they're quite good defensively. They are still decently hard to break down. And like I just said, away at West Brom, it were a different story, and they're probably lucky to come away with 2-0 because that could have been a lot more from what I saw. But defensively, they are quite good. They've not conceded more than 2 goals since Rowett's come in. But the lack of goals going forward for them is a worry. The only thing that they've got going from a little bit is that Coventry, they've not conceded loads, don't get me wrong, but they're not like the most defensively solid side you've ever seen. They offer a lot going forward, Coventry, I think, a lot of time, but they can concede a goal. So I'm going to trust in Oxford again that they can get one. Hope they can get one. Regardless of scoreline, if they can't score here, seriously, I am worrying for you a lot. Especially if you can't get goals at all, with the form that you're currently on, Coventry, Oxford even, it's worrying. But I do fancy Coventry for a win. So I'm going for my 4th both teams to score it in a row, just purely based on hope, really, for Oxford's sort of chances than anything, more than actually thinking it. But I will go with a Oxford 1, Coventry 2 scoreline. I do fancy Cov for the win and to probably get in there. God, I was so ahead of the curve. Luton, Pompey. 8 games on here, man. Oh my God. Luton, that Watford performance has just changed me. It really has. That's changed my thought process massively on Luton. In fact, that they don't look up for it at all. Portsmouth are going to come here, all guns blazing. Bishop new contract. Murphy's on a Madden. They've always looked quite good going forward anyway in this division. And the home form has always been the main thing that's giving them a chance of staying up. But even recently, their away form is picking up slightly. I know we're looking at a side that's literally got probably one of the worst away forms you've ever seen in your life in this division. Before Oxford away, which they'd won, they'd lost 8 games in a row away. So you might think, why am I on about the performances turning just based on one fluke result? They were really good away at Sheff United. Really good. Obviously, they got spanned away at West Brom the game before, but the performance were there against Sheff United. The performance and the result were there against Oxford. Luton at home and Luton in general are absolutely shit. Terrible. Create very little. Doss about pitch, creating nothing. There's no effort. There's no lack. There's like no leaders. There's no thing at all, really. There's nothing happening with Luton. Looks so slack. And I feel like you can almost forgive like a lack of quality. But the Luton players have obviously got bits of quality in them, or the ones who got promoted in first place. And a lot of them players are still here. They just don't look interested. Whereas Portsmouth are well up for it. They've won 3 in a row. against some decent sides and all. Beating Cardiff, it's not an easy result, that beating Cardiff these days. Winning away at Oxford, which ended the spell of 8 in a row losses. QPR at home, hard side, win. I fancy him again. Luton just don't look up for it. Do you know what? I can't see past the lack of effort. Do I think Luton score? Not really. They've only scored 1 in the last 4 games, and it went to Plymouth at home. Oh, God. Do I fancy Luton for a goal? Yes. But only 1, and I'm going to give Portsmouth 2. I am fancying a Pompey win. No, not for second time. For second time away in a row, but for the 4th game on the bounce, I'm fancying a Portsmouth win. Middlesbrough derby. That last night, honestly, I get a lot of things wrong, okay? But people just don't acknowledge me when I get things right. Stoke are in trouble. They really are. If you can't beat Middlesbrough with current state of the rain, you're in bother. And Middlesbrough have gone away to Stoke last night and won 3-1. Derby obviously can't even buy a point these days. They can't. God forbid they get a goal. They've had 2 points this year. Yep, we are at the end of February and they've got 2 points this calendar year so far. Middlesbrough, after 5 losses in a row, like I just said, won away at Stoke, which is worrying for Stoke more than it is for Middlesbrough, obviously. And to be honest with you, I know we're only very early into John Eustace's time at Derby, but I don't think they'll win this either. And I'm wondering where they're going to get wins from. The Millwall one were a real killer to concede and lose in 95th and 96th minute, whatever it was. And I don't think they'll win here away at Middlesbrough. Their away form is 3rd worst in division. They've got 1 win in 17 games away from home. And Middlesbrough aren't exactly like world beaters at the minute either. They've been shit for ages. I always fancy Middlesbrough for a goal and an exciting game. But Derby, I'm going to say defensively okay most of the time. Which they are. I don't want to let the QPR result fool me. I do think they are decent at back most of the time. So I don't think it'll be a massive scoreline this. Despite me, I want to say every game's going to be 4-1, do you know what I mean? But I don't think it will be this. I don't really think Derby will score. Despite Middlesbrough being quite leaky bottom for a long time. And the way that Carrick sets up it is designed to give mistakes away and concede from your own downfall in it most of the time. But I do fancy Borough for a 2-0 win. Squeaky bum for Derby now. Really squeaky. Like the squeakiest. QPR, Sheff United. Oh. See, this is the first, the reverse fixture in this. I think this was 2nd game of the season. And that is when I saw QPR, despite getting a red card and they were 2-0 down, they ended up bringing this back to 2 apiece. I think that is what happened. And the performance of them was really good. I've said it before. Our Lass's family are all Sheff United fans, and they rave about QPR and how good they were in that game. And they're one of the best sides that they've probably seen this season so far. I do think if Sheff United had to slip up, this could be it. They were half decent against Leeds. I don't think there were loads and loads separating 2 sides, apart from probably clinical edge that Leeds had and the fact that Peck's 5'4". But I never know what to think with Sheff United. From a performance point of view, I know what to think with results-wise most of the time because you just said win. But performance-wise, I don't know what to think. And it's it's a gamble on what Sheff United side's going to turn up. QPR, no mugs at all. They lost to Wednesday at home, but other than that, they've had 7 wins either side of it. So it's a tough one to call this. They could be a little bit deflated, Sheff United, based on the Leeds result and how they lost. But Wilder's not going to let them dwell on the losses for too long, is he? All season, I think the worst spell that Sheff United have had is 3 games without a win. And that is it since start of year. And that were only when they had Burnley, West Brom and Sunderland 3 games in a row. Other than that, it's just a lot of green across the board with this side. This is probably the hardest fixture out of all of them to call. And I'm definitely the least confident with this, whatever I say. But I do instinctively fancy Sheff United win. I do think it'll be a really, really close game, this. Seriously, I do. And it's not going to be a walk in park. It's definitely not going to be a stroll for Sheff United. This will be an hard game. And I could see them being under cosh for a lot of it, but still just scabbing the way to a win, which they've done a lot this season. I will say a very close and a very edgy 1-0 to Sheff United. Oh, dodgy one. Stoke, Watford. Oh, God. Oh, goodness me. Watford, I would probably say looked like they were dossing it off a little bit as well. Until the last couple of games, I thought they've not looked up for it at all. But against Luton, they really did from the bits that I saw. They looked bang up for it. They weren't getting a lot of sloppy stuff away. They were hard and strong. And Stoke, I said it, that Swansea game is papering over at cracks. These are in trouble, Stoke. They are. And it's not even so much like a lack of goals now. because they are actually scoring. They got 3 against Swansea. They got 2 against Norwich. They got 1 against Middlesbrough. It's now opposite end, which it's completely changed its space of like a couple of weeks, because they've been okay defensively a lot of this season. They've just not scored enough goals. Now the defense is just. They're just letting them in for fun. And Watford aren't like biggest scorers you've ever seen. They got 2 at Sunderland, yeah, but they got arseholed at home to Leeds. They got a nice little 1-0 away at Middlesbrough, to be fair, and then they bet Luton. Oh, I want to go a draw. But I tell you what, I'm edging Watford. I'm worrying about Stoke. Seriously, I am. Again, it's a really tough one to call, and Watford, like, I've almost got nothing to play for, really. But the last 2 games has probably given them that little bit of spark and a little bit of life in your brain. Like, maybe we can get back into place. We might be able to sneak in late on here. I do think it's a tough ask, but a win for Watford are doing world of good. And I'm going to give him it, you know. My instinct wants to go draw, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Watford. I cannot stress, like, how fortunate some of the crap sides in this division are. Like, really, that you've got some of the serious dross that's currently at bottom 3. Because Stoke are going to be looking over the shoulder until this is done. It's a very, very poor team, this. But that's that. That's all we've got. There's only 8 fixtures in Championship this week because it's the FA Cup on. So, thank you as always for watching, boys. Make sure you like and subscribe if you did enjoy. I know they're only simple videos, the prediction ones, but I like doing them. And then just like churning shit out. Thank you guys for watching, boys. Love you all. Kiss, and I'll see you in a bit. You ready?
I say I'm a man, yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.